Hey everyone, and welcome to Leadership Lunchbox. I'm glad you could join me today. My name is Larry Moss. I'm the president of Azimuth Consulting, and happy to be with you today. Today, I want to talk to you about developing a culture of leadership development, and fostering a culture of growth and development. Why is it important? So, a a culture. Here's the funny thing. So I've had clients before that when we talk about culture, they'll say, "Well, Larry, we really don't have a culture per se at our organization," and I always uh, let them know that you do have a culture because your culture exists either by default or by design. Now, when you have a culture by default, that means you have no intentionality behind creating the culture. But when you have a culture by design, then you've taken the intentional steps to build a strategy that builds a culture that supports your organization and your values. So let's talk a little bit about the characteristics of designing and fostering a culture of leadership development, one that values growth. So, a culture that values growth provides a foundation for continuous improvement and innovation, enabling leaders to enhance their skills, their knowledge, and capabilities over time. Some of the benefits of that, well, I'll give you about five or six of them. So, number one is you're going to retain and attract the talent that you need in your organization. So, a culture of leadership development and growth signals to employees that the organization is invested in their growth and advancement. Now, this can help retain top talent and attract the high potential individuals who are seeking opportunities for professional development. Employees are more likely to stay engaged and committed to their roles when they see a clear path for growth and advancement within the organization. Another benefit of creating a growth culture is it helps you with succession planning. So leadership moves on. They change roles. They may go to other organizations. Sometimes you just lose leaders. But cultivating leaders from within the organization through growth opportunities allows for effective succession planning. It ensures that there's always a pipeline of capable leaders who can step up into key roles as needed, reducing leadership gaps and minimizing disruption in the event of leadership changes. And this promotes stability, continuity of organizational operations, ensuring long term success. You know, I was watching the NCAA women's basketball championship last week, and it was interesting because leading into the game, Iowa was thought they were going to was favored with their player. What was her name? Caitlin Clark, I believe, because against South Carolina, she had scored 40 points. And I think she had done it in a previous game too. So they're going in, it's like this team is unstoppable. And then they're going into the finals and they're playing LSU. And one of the things I noticed right off the bat is that it didn't matter which player had the ball in their hands on LSU. They were scoring, they were performing, they worked together. I mean, one of their highest scorers wasn't even a starter because their bench was strong. Okay. So they have a culture of cultivating growth in that pipeline, in that leadership bench. So it didn't matter who they went up against, it was a strong team. Imagine that type of strength in an organization. Another benefit of creating a culture of growth in your organization is it helps to improve leadership skills because growth opportunities such as training programs, mentoring, coaching, provide leaders with the skills and knowledge they need to excel in their roles. Because as leaders continually develop and refine their skills, they become more effective in leading teams, making strategic decisions, solving problems, and driving overall organizational success. Improved leader skills also contribute to a positive work environment where employees feel motivated, empowered, and supported. It also creates innovation and adaptability. So, growth encourages leaders to think critically, embrace change, and explore new ideas and approaches. Leaders who are continuously learning and growing are more likely to be innovative and adaptable. As you know, they're not afraid of change and the status quo, and they seek new solutions. They're not afraid of failure and taking a risk. A culture of leadership development fosters a mindset of continuous improvement and encourages leaders to stay curious and open to new possibilities, driving innovation and adaptability within the organization. And again, the bench strength, leadership bench strength is another benefit. That culture of development where building a strong bench of leaders at all levels of the organization. It ensures that that there are multiple leaders with diverse skills and perspectives who can step up and lead in different situations. This mitigates the risk of relying too heavily on a key few leaders or promotes a more collaborative and inclusive leadership style, which is beneficial for the organization in the long term. And it also helps with burnout of your key players. We've probably all been in situations to where, maybe you are the one that was called on to constantly lead a project or lead a sales team because you've always done a great job. But what happens is if I'm overused my strong leaders, I have a tendency to burn them out. I have to give them the opportunity to regrow, to refresh, and to rejuvenate their style and their capabilities. So creating that strong bench. And then finally, employee engagement and motivation. Growth opportunities are highly motivating for employees as they provide a sense of purpose, direction, and progress in their careers. When employees see that their organization is invested in their growth and development, they're more likely to be engaged, committed, and motivated to perform at their best. This leads to higher levels of job satisfaction, productivity, and overall organizational performance. So again, when you're looking at culture in your organization, understand that you do have a culture. It's there by default or by design. And wouldn't you rather design the culture that best fits your organization and design it for the biggest impact possible on success for not just your organization, but also every employee that works there? Thanks again for joining me at Leadership Lunchbox. I appreciate you taking the time, even though it's just a few minutes. I don't want to take a whole lot of your lunch break, but it's always a pleasure speaking with you. And hopefully one day we can meet in person, or either face-to-face on a webinar. If you have any questions of how Azimuth Consulting can help you and your organization grow their leaders, grow their culture, please reach out to us. Thanks again, and have a great day.